told y'all, man, we're finally here. Hey, please ain't. I keep my promises, man. I may be a little late most of the time, if not all the time, but you know, sooner or later I will keep my promises, and who knows, the video might just pop up. So for you 88 glam people out there, stay tuned. But right now, this video is about Kodak Black's recent album that came out, Dying to Live. A lot of you guys wanted my, wanted my opinion. I couldn't really do a first listen because a lot of stuff came out at the same time, when Dying to Live released, so I didn't really have enough time to get to it. But I said, you know what, I'm going to do a review. I'm going to give you guys how I felt about it because I thought that it was a very solid project from Kodak Black. You know, me listening to Kodak Black, it's a little love-hate type thing, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I love him. I understand what kind of music he makes being from South Florida. Look, I am from South Florida. I lived there for 16 years, 17 years, and now I live in Tampa, y'all didn't know. So it's like, I get the whole scene and you know, the type of style that Kodak is giving everybody, and then everything going on in today's music, man, no one really wants to hear that because no one was giving Wayne shit when he was doing it back then with 500 Degrees. In my opinion, I think in certain aspects, this album is better than Painting Pictures. Painting Pictures did grow on me. I got to do another, I slept on that review at some point later on, but I think that this album in some aspects is better than Painting Pictures. The first thing I want to get at is he was just so vulnerable and he was very open in this album, something that I was really hoping he highlighted on just because he got out of jail, and I was like, okay, you know what, is he going to change? Is he going to be a better person? Look, everybody deserves second chances. That's most people deserve second chances. So I think that Kodak being one of them, after, you know, everything that he went through, even last year, the year before that, he finally, you know, he did his time and now he's finally back. I wanted him to have some kind of reflection. I wanted to hear his testimony. Surprisingly, the first track on the album was Testimony. It took a little bit to grow on me, that Testimony track, but when you actually really listen to what he's saying, it's kind of just, man, like, it's amazing, you know, the thought process that he had to put in that track. Now, his English may not be what others want it to be. People want very fluent when it comes to rapping, and when it comes to, you know, singing, they want very fluent grammar. And Kodak, that's just something he's not going to give you. You know, he's from the South, he's from Miami or Broward, Pompano, and it's just like, you know, that's how they talk down there in the hood. That's just how he talks, and just something you just got to accept from him. You either like it or you don't. You know, it's an acquired taste. So when you hear the Testimony track, if you can get by how he's slurring his words and, you know, using the slang, and just listen to what he's actually saying, then you will appreciate the song more for what it is. I think he had a kind of up and downs on the album where it was just like there were very good tracks, but then he just goes back to earth and you're just kind of just like, okay, this is what kind of Kodak does. He's not going to give us 16 straight tracks of fire. I just don't expect that from him. I'm just going into the project knowing that I'm going to take bits here and there. This Forever is a very skippable track for me. It just does nothing. The beat is very well put together. They need to start featuring producers on these albums as well. A lot of these producers carry a lot of these rappers. And that's just being real. Not just saying Kodak. I'm just saying they carry a lot of rappers throughout tracks, man. The producers need to be featured, I think. And so I can know myself. That's just kind of me being selfish. But Identity Theft reminded me being back in Miami, you know, Miami days, you know what I'm saying, having that juke feel, you know, the very uplifting, you know what I'm saying. If nobody understands, we created the juke, Miami juke, you know what I'm saying. We created that shit. I don't know what else on Baltimore and Jersey and all that, and then Jacksonville and Tampa. Like, no, Miami created that juke. I'm so high, we juking, ecstasy, we did that. That was us. So when people try to remember who did the Baltimore club and all that shit, just remember it's from Miami. All right. You know, we get. Before I continue, the things I gotta highlight right here on this album. The two worst tracks by far on here are the ones with Juice WRLD and the one with Lil Pump. All right. And now Kodak even said it himself. It just didn't even fit in the album. You know, for what the album was. You know, him opening it up. You know, getting out of jail, giving us his testimony, giving us his experience, what he's going through, how he's finally changed, and then you get the like, it's dumb stuff. I just didn't think he needed to have that on there. Kodak came out and said the reason why he had both of them. He would never work with Juice WRLD. He would never work with Lil Pump. The only reason he had it on there because it get the numbers, it get the clicks, it get the streams. He know that you guys out there are sheep, and you guys will click on the stream to listen to Lil Pump and Juice WRLD, and you guys will love that shit and you will replay it, and he get paid for that. Easy. He basically saying it's easy. I'm gonna put it on the album just to get paid. And for that, I respect it. But both of those tracks dumpster. We had the popular track ZZ that everybody was really loving, which had the Caribbean style beat, probably one of the most hyped up beats of 2018. I didn't like that track. I think that Travis Scott couldn't even fix that track for what it was. Like, it had Travis Scott and had an Offset on there. They couldn't even fix the track. Just an amazing beat that went the other way. I just didn't. I mean, the beat is still fire. Like listening to the instrumental, but other than that, it's just skippable. The best track on here, in my opinion, the two best tracks on here, Malcolm X and Take One. First being Take One. Take One is the track that makes you just want to go rob somebody. It make you want to go do some crazy stuff. It make you want to get active. You listen to Take One, it's just instant juice, man. It just gets you hyped, and it's just like, yo, I'm gonna rest and I'm gonna take one. I don't even know what he be saying. You know, I don't be memorizing no words. But you listen to that track, man, it just gives you, it puts you in a different mental, and it puts you in the shoes of someone that actually lives in that environment. And you just be like, man, I'm about to go rob somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like my homie said, you just want to go get active. You know what I'm saying? Hey, run that. You know, you don't even got to be from the hood. You just be like, run that. Just go ahead, run it. I don't know what that means, but run it. And then you get the Malcolm X.X.X track, which is very clever. You know, Kodak just talking about, you know, his environment, talking about, you know, the X death. Maybe if X had a Smith & Wesson on him, then, you know, maybe he'd still be alive to this day. You know, I always try to, it's really hard when you find a thin line of, you know, excuses with being from the hood, and should you be a product of your environment, and is that how you should act? You know, just because you're from that, should you always be like that? And sometimes I agree, but then I disagree. It's agree to disagree, because, you know, you see artists like Kodak, they're never gonna change. Artists like Kodak, you know what I'm saying? Artists like, well, Gucci Mane originally, but then, you know, he obviously had to change because he had the jail experience. It's just like, it's really hard when you're a product of your environment. You know what I'm saying? You're just in this cycle. It's an endless cycle. It's a trap. And, you know, people gotta kill to stay alive. People gotta sell to get by. And no one's really kind of helping you. You know what I'm saying? You know, you just like Cat Williams said. I know I always quote Cat Williams, but you know what I'm saying? You like a tiger in the zoo. All right? Trapped. Doing what you gotta do to get by. It's just really crazy, man. I love the ending of the album. I love how he finished the album. I feel like the album didn't start off as strong because he had the features, and it was minimal features on here as well that he had from Painting Pictures. Painting Pictures had more features. I think it had 6 features, I believe, and this one only had 3. He had minimal features on here, so I felt like that was also a good thing about this album, just Kodak being Kodak. I think he finished the album really strong. We get into Calling My Spirit. Calling My Spirit is probably like was definitely the radio hit of the album, or if you want to call it the single of the album. Like, it's just certain words in the song that be getting me, and then certain transitions in the song that get me. And I think Calling My Spirit had one of the best. Let me just play it for y'all right here, man. I'm gonna just play it for y'all. Hey. Hey, you just gotta feel that, man. That nigga Kodak, he was sliding on that beat. I ain't gonna front. He was sliding. I like what he was saying. His English is getting better. He's becoming more understandable with each song, and that's what I'm appreciating. You know what I'm saying? I'm appreciating the growth of all those artists that I hated on in the XXL 2016, 2017 freshman list, and I'm starting to appreciate more and more their growth. Because, you know, they're becoming good artists. You know what I'm saying? They're staying in their lane. They know who they are. In the Flesh Fire track, Close to the Grave Fire, From the Cradle Fire, If I'm Lying, I'm Flying. And then Needing Something was the only track that I really truly disliked, other than This Is Forever and the 2 features that he had on there with Lil Pump and Juice WRLD. I think that could have been different. Is definitely a down south thing. You know what I'm saying? Like that was a down south track. You can hear it. He had 2 down south tracks on here. Could have been different, and Identity Theft, but could have.
Brown County 954, we here. I kick the door down.
Hey, this.
Know your boy shit. 1800 block ugly corner. Tired. Cliff.
But that track right there, man, is definitely a reminiscence of the old days, of the Meami days. You know, what they used to play when Jukin was really on a high. You know, we had Grind Mode out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to think. Under Surveillance. You know, Briscoe. Who else we had out there coming out there? I'm trying to think. Iceberg. DJ Chip, man. You know what I'm saying? We had a lot of them Juk artists that were vibing all throughout Miami. And I feel like, you know, Kodak kind of put that in his album with those 2 tracks because, you know, he grew up with that. all in all, man, you know what I'm saying? I really suck at explaining these albums. You know, let me know in the comment box below if I'm doing good. I know I'm not really good at these reviews, because mostly I just tell you guys how I feel and not really, you know, what I think about the album. So I can't really give it a true rating. That's why I don't give it ratings at the end. But I'm just giving you my opinion on the album, what I thought about it, and what I, you know, some of the things I really looked at. And if you could take it from a different perspective, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, just giving you some of the words. You guys wanted to know how I felt about it, not just like throw it under the rug usually. So this is just how I felt, man. I think that it was a solid project from Kodak Black. I think he's getting better with each project. And I think you don't really need to be from, I don't know, it's an acquired taste how he sounds. A lot of people say that he's whiny, but then like when you actually listen to the tracks and listen to what the man has to say, you can hear that he's probably one of the realest rappers of today. And that's just being real. So with that being said, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, share. Let me know what y'all think about the album. And if you want to donate $1 to my Patreon, go ahead and do that. And if you like the review, just tell me what I need to do to get better. I want to know what I need to do to get better, guys. So with that being said, till the next time, we out.